You know, your business can feel fun and fulfilling and exciting even in the early stages of building and even in any building phase, because it was meant to be this way, especially if you're building it from your purpose. It is meant to be something that you can fully and throughout enjoy. And we sometimes get in our own ways and create businesses that we don't enjoy, even though we are actually building it around our purpose or starting to build it around our purpose. And this is what I want to cover today and what to uncover today, and also help you see how you can actually have the exact business that you want, not just the results, but also while you are in the day to day and creating it and doing it, that you get to enjoy it, that you get to wake up with excitement and interest and curiosity, and that is the energy that you bring in to the day, not the dread and not the must and not the everything else that we tend to feel in this way, right? So this is the episode today. Hi, I am Daniela Varga. Welcome back to the She Who Leads podcast, where we talk about how you can build a business from your purpose that is changing lives, that is creating transformation, that is leaving an impact, and that is bringing you the most joy and success along the way. Okay, so like I said, I see a lot this with people who I work with, and also experience this myself a lot, that we start a business from the desire to have more freedom in our lives, or have more joy in our lives, have more fulfillment, right? To enjoy what we are doing, to make money with what we love, right? Like this is kind of the main goal for most people. Obviously we also want to make the money, but those will come actually from these three. But we want to enjoy while we are making that money, right? Like that is usually I think the number one reason for people creating a business is either freedom. If again I take money out of the picture, it's either more freedom, or more fulfillment, like really feeling that what I create have a place in this world, right? Like I'm not just working on something that I don't even connect to emotionally, like I'm doing something that matters, right? Like that's another reason. Or we want to actually enjoy the time that we spend with work, because we spend a lot of time in our lives with work, and obviously most people want to enjoy it. I hope you do too. So and most people go into creating a business with this mindset, with this desire of, okay, this will be my business. And what ends up happening is they somehow find themselves in a situation that they don't enjoy, that is not fulfilling, and it is actually making them feel less free than a lot of the times their previous job. And why that happens is that because we don't really have a blueprint for how to create a business, we either go back to our own experiences and try to build the business based on those, which again, if you come from a 9 to 5 job, you will have the experience on how to create a 9 to 5 job. So if you bring that experience into the business, then you basically will create a 9 to 5 job for yourself within the business, because you bring your own previous experiences. Another thing that tends to happen is that we don't really, again, have a blueprint, so we tend to go to do what other people are doing, and that's how we create our business. And if that's not aligned with how we are built, and I will talk about this in a second, then it won't feel good. It won't feel free. It won't feel fulfilling because we are trying to be someone else than we are supposed to be. So, what truly creates a free business, freedom in business, is actually not just the time, right? Like not more time or doing or spending less time on work. What creates the freedom is actually doing things the way you want to do them, right? Freedom is not just time, not just more time. Freedom is basically, I have the freedom of choice. If you feel like you have the freedom of choice, then no matter kind of what you do, you will always feel free at your core because you know, like, oh, okay, I choose this. I had the freedom of choice. I use that and I choose this. Now, what ends up happening with the business, let's just say one example is people start a business. They want to get clients. They want to get in front of clients. What is the first thing that they do? They go to social media. Why? Because everyone else is doing social media. So if they see someone, maybe people who they like, coaches or business people or anyone who actually built a big business and maybe they did it through social media, then it's actually a very safe assumption to go like, okay, so I kind of should do the same thing because this person had a big success with that. I should do the same thing. And if you are not aligned to doing social media, meaning that you are not built to enjoy that, not built to be good at it, not built to have the specific capabilities to how do I phrase this? Like if you're not really built to do social media, that's not something that is in your energetics, in your physical capabilities, and all the other stuff. And then you actually will with this choice, you choose this, but actually what you choose is to be someone else, right? You chose to be doing things in someone else's way, which again, to your subconscious will feel like, oh, so I actually didn't choose this for myself. Someone else chose this for me, right? I need to be someone else. I need to do things in a specific way. I don't have choice here because what happens with social media with a lot of people is that because they see a bunch of people having success on social media and maybe that's the only thing they see, they kind of believe that, oh, okay, this is the only way I can have a business, I can have a successful business, I can build an audience. And again, if you're not aligned to do that, if it's not who you are meant to be, how you are meant to build business, then it will be a disconnect. It will feel like forcing that on yourself, which again cuts you away from the freedom altogether because now you feel like you have to do something, right? Whenever we feel like we have to do something to get what we want, that's not freedom. That will never be freedom. And again, it can come, some mindset shifts can help with that. But again, the core thing that creates this whole situation of you not feeling free in your own business is basically you forcing yourself to do things in a certain way, right? If I go and see fulfillment, so how fulfillment is created is not just by creating a result, because that's how a lot of people connect to fulfillment. Oh, if I get a certain result, that means that I am fulfilled, right? And that is actually not fulfillment. That is validation, which is always coming from the ego. Fulfillment will come from the soul. Validation is coming from the ego. So while you are waiting for being fulfilled from other people, right? The client success stories, the views, the comments, the likes, like any number, any outside metric that you attach your fulfillment to, that actually won't be fulfillment, that will be validation that is coming from the lack of inner validation that you give for yourself. That's actually a reflection. If I want to be super like specific about it, fulfillment is actually coming from, it can come from multiple places. What I want to bring in today is the fulfillment of being yourself. That is the most fulfilling thing that you can experience, and that the soul can experience. One of the most fulfilling things of, oh, I can be fully myself. I can be myself. I can do things the way I want to do, and I can create the way I want to create. Like, that is very fulfilling. If you think about kids, kids usually are pretty fulfilled, right? Like, I think we can agree with that. Why? Because they are doing things that is them, right? Kid loves to draw, she draws. Kid likes to build Lego, she builds Lego. Kid likes to run around in the garden, he will go and run around in the garden. They don't really force themselves to play something that they don't want to play, usually. Let's say in a healthy environment, they won't force themselves to be someone else, right? If they don't like to draw, they don't sit down and don't draw, and that's just it. And that is one of the things that keeps them so fulfilled, keeps them so happy, so joyful, so energetic, because they are actually being themselves most of the time and not forcing themselves to be anyone else. And that is basically my whole point with this, is you don't need to be anyone else in your business to be successful, especially in the soul business that you are building, the business that is built around your purpose. It is, like I said before, a lot of the times, like, your soul business will be unique. What you create with your soul business will be unique. Also, and that's a very interesting thing in the soul business, that it's not just what you create that is unique, but how you create that thing is also unique. So, translation, you won't really have a blueprint for your soul business, and not even for the how. Like, you won't really have a set way. You won't really know, like, okay, if I follow this person, I will build the business that I enjoy doing, that gives me fulfillment, and it also will be successful. It can get you to a place, but maybe you don't enjoy it at all, or it brings you to a ceiling, like an income ceiling that you like cannot break anyway, no matter how hard you try. So the sooner you kind of give yourself permission to make the rules of your own business, which is an amazing feeling, very scary, but amazing feeling, the sooner you will start to actually become yourself and use the capabilities, the powers, the gifts that you have, open up those capabilities even more, become even more unique on the market, because no one is doing things exactly how you are doing things. Like, that's even something that will separate you from everyone else and help you stand out from everyone else, and brings the success with it, right? And you get to enjoy what you are doing, because you set your own rules. You set how you want to create, you set how you want to connect with people, you set the rule of when you work and how much you work a day, you set the rule for where you create content, what type of content you create, even like how you deliver the offers that you deliver. Like, you have full autonomy over your business. I want you to really, really, really sit with this and let it like sink in deep. Like, you have full autonomy over your business. No one can tell you in this entire world what is the best way for you to do the business. No one. Not even me, not even the most successful business person. um, and that's why actually how I work with people is not by doing them, okay, you should go to social media, but we actually go in and see, okay, what are your unique strengths, how you are built energetically, mentally, emotionally, physically, how you are built. Let's see that. Let's see what comes natural to you. Let's see how you express yourself the easiest way. Let's see how you build trust. What is natural for you to build trust? Like, everyone has their own unique ways to all of these. And what we do in the coachings is we go in, see those specific things, and see how you can actually use those to build the business, how you can use those in the content creation process, how you can use those in setting up the business structure, how you can even use that in the offers that you create, because there are a lot of ways you can deliver results. You can deliver an offer, you can set up and create an offer. And when you create that from how you are built, when you make your own rules with that, then things will start to feel more at ease. Things will start to feel more like, oh, I actually want to do this. Oh, I actually enjoy doing this. Oh, wow, I actually am excited to create that offer now. I'm actually excited to create content now, because it's not something that I am forcing myself to do. It's not something, not someone who I am forcing myself to be. It is actually me. And yes, there are blocks with that too, but that's also something that we usually uncover in the coachings, like why you are maybe afraid to be you and how you can shift that. So those can be also solved, resolved, and then you can truly, truly do what you enjoy and what you love. So just to get you a full understanding again, like why we tend to follow others when it comes to creating a business. I think that is the most common thing that happens, is that, okay, I am starting a business. Maybe this is my first business. Maybe this is your first business. And I see why it is very, very easy. It was easy for me too, way back when I started my first business, of like, okay, I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea how to build a business. So let's just go out, look what other people are doing, and try to do the exact same thing. And why we do that, like, I want you to understand the subconscious works behind this whole thing. The first is always safety. So the nervous system always responds to safety, is looking for safety. And your nervous system will respond very well to plans. So when you are starting something new that feels super, super uncertain, like a business will be, and if it's your first time, it's just natural that when you see a plan that worked for someone, and it claims to have been working for 1,000 other people, because maybe that's like a business program that someone is selling, it's just natural that your nervous system will react of, oh, I want that. Oh, I need that. Oh, okay, that's my solution. Because it is a plan. It is something that gives your nervous system a sense of safety and security, because there's like maybe instructions there and step-by-step things and answers to questions you have, and you even don't even know you shouldn't be asking, right? Like, it's a big sense of relief to the nervous system when we see a plan that we can follow, even if that plan is someone else's plan. And this need for safety is so deeply ingrained in us, especially in the nervous system. And a nervous system is affecting our emotions. The nervous system is affecting the feelings in our body. So when our nervous system is dysregulated and out of balance, but is feeling unsafe, obviously we will want to do anything to get back into this feeling of safety, to get back into regulation. So following someone else's plan, it is actually seemingly a very good idea. Now, what I want to bring in here is that there's nothing wrong with following someone else's plan. There's nothing wrong, not following, nothing wrong with learning from others. That's an amazing way to grow faster than you would be by yourself. What throws people off and what creates the friction in people's lives and in the business experience is blindly following those plans. So maybe the plan entails you doing cold outreach every day for 2 hours, and you hate cold outreach. It's something that you feel uncomfortable. Maybe you're a projector like I am, and for projectors, it's not the most natural thing to do to outreach, because projectors need to be invited into sharing their wisdom, sharing their help. This is human design, if you don't know what I'm talking about. And I know from experience that when I always try to do cold outreach, my whole body was just like, oh no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And yes, always, you always need to look in the reflective component in every single contraction, but also there's a difference between you forcing yourself to do something that is not natural to you, and being afraid of doing something because you feel like you cannot do that, right? So with this specifically, so the cold outreach could be something that you are actually not built to do, or not enjoy in any way, and you would be much more happy with, I don't know, creating content or creating a podcast, or I don't know, writing a blog, or whatever feel called to do. But because you are following this plan, because you are, again, and that will be the second part, like not kind of not trusting yourself, you're following this plan over what would be natural to you. You're creating the friction, you kind of ingraining in yourself that, okay, so to have this business that I want to have the impact that I want to create, to help people, I actually need to do stuff that I hate. I actually need to do stuff that make me cringe. Like, at some point, and that point will come sooner than later, you will say like, oh, okay, this doesn't even worth it. Like, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I don't even want to do it for a month. Like, how would I be able to do this for the rest of my life? And that's where actually the whole, I don't want to do this, I'm giving up, I'm not cut out for this feeling, a lot of these feelings stem from, because you are forcing stuff on yourself that is very, very unnatural for you to do. And we have enough stuff that make our life harder. We have blocks, we have limiting beliefs, we have reflections, we have so many stuff happening, especially when you start the business world, and you are in the business world, like, building a business is one of the most intense self-development journey that you can go on. And if you're building a soul business, you know that that is one of the most intense spiritual journey you will go on. So, and that has a lot of things in itself that already is challenging, because of the obstacles that you need to go through to grow to the person that you can build this soul business to bigger and bigger and bigger levels. So why would we add in extra things that create friction in our lives with following someone else's plan blindly, for example, if we can just like make our own rules and create the business that actually feels more like us, feels something that is exciting. If something feels like a dread, just stop doing it. Stop doing it. Give it a try. Try it, see it. If you do it for like 2 weeks, can you start to enjoy it? Can you start to see like pieces of it that you would enjoy? And if not, just like stop doing it. Find something else that you can do instead. And again, there needs to be a fine line between you not doing something because it is hard in the beginning and you don't really have the expertise and you feel like you don't want to do it, or you not doing something because it's not aligned with you. And if you have trouble with that, that's when actually someone can come in and help you do that and figure that out. Okay, so which is it now? Is this something that I'm actually supposed to do, but the first few weeks or months will be like just hard because that's how it's supposed to be? Like, for example, my first recording my first few podcast episodes didn't feel as fun as it feels right now, but actually I still enjoyed it. So there was some enjoyment in there, and that's something that should be, you should be aware of, you should be looking out for. Or I am actually not even supposed to do this, I'm just forcing myself to do this, and 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 I just should stop. So that's why I use, for example, the Dharma archetypes in my coaching to see like what even your archetypes are and how to translate that into their business. I'm using human design. I'm using to looking into your gifts, your soul gifts, and how to use that. What is your unique value and how to translate that into the business? Like all those pieces come together so you can actually pinpoint all the different parts of your unique soul business and how you can do that. And that will help you create the type of business that is free, that is joyful, that is fulfilling. When you understand who you are and how you are built and use that in the business, that will create a much, much, much better business experience for yourself. And here's kind of the other thing that comes in when we are, what leads us to follow someone else's plan or path in building a business is the trust part. So we are not trusting our capabilities, we are not trusting our skills, our knowledge, but not even that, because that can be learned. It always goes back to capabilities. Like, I don't trust myself that I have what it takes to build this business. I don't trust that what I have right now is enough, is good enough, is cut out to be an entrepreneur, to be a business owner, to be someone who can actually build a successful business. And that always, always will go back to identity. How you identify yourself, who you identify yourself, like basically self-image, how you see yourself and how you perceive yourself and how you see others perceive you. And when there's a disconnect with there, and maybe you don't connect with your entrepreneur identity, or you don't connect with any entrepreneur identity. I made a podcast episode about this, like the entrepreneur identity. I will put it here somewhere. Check it out, because it's a very, very important part of building a business, and what creates a lot of disconnect with people believing in themselves of, oh, I can do this, I really can do this. Because if you don't have those identity pieces, that, or you have that, if you don't connect with those identity pieces, that you would believe that someone needs to build a successful business, then you always, always will trust other people over yourself. No matter which stage of the business you are in, you will always trust someone who is in front of, is ahead of you, and that the next level that you want to reach, and you will follow them rather than follow you. And that will be a much harder experience. It will be a much harder way to grow your business, and a much less enjoyable way to grow the business than if you would just trust your capabilities and lean into what you are naturally good at, and use that, to build the business, use that to grow the business, use that to connect with people, right? it is it is really, really one of the key aspects of having a business that is enjoyable every single day. Not just on the days that you have success, not just on the way where you make money, but also on the days where you are creating something new that is maybe scary, but also exciting in the same time, right? So, like I said, I want you to remember that you make the rules of your business. When you start to give yourself permission to do that, then a whole like new world will open up, where you could feel like, oh, okay, I don't actually have to do things. I get to choose things for my business. I don't have to force myself to do something that I hate. I can just actually stop doing that and do something else instead that feels more natural, right? So I want you to go through two questions that I brought to help you start this process of figuring out, okay, what could be my rules for my business. The first question that I want to ask you, I want you to answer is, where in my business do I feel like I need to be someone else to be successful? So, where in my business do I need to feel like I need to be someone else to be successful? I maybe didn't say that right. Okay, so the question is, where in my business do I feel like I need to be someone else to feel successful? It can be, maybe I have to create content in a certain way to be successful. I have to be on certain platforms to be successful. I have to create I don't know, memberships to be successful, or I can only do one-on-one sessions to be successful. I have to start with doing one-on-one sessions to be successful, right? Like that's also something that people kind of force themselves. They're not really called to do one-on-one sessions. They are much more alive and enjoy much more being themselves in the group setting. But because the right way to do things is first have one-on-one clients, then do a coaching container, people just like go, okay, so I don't really want to do one-on-one, but I will do that because everyone else is doing that. Like that is also a way of you feeling like you need to be someone else to be successful. And the next question I'd like you to answer is, how would my core self, my true self, do business? Your true self is your version who has no conditioning, who has no learned habits, and like basically the version of you, your true core self. If I would strip you away from all the limiting beliefs, from all the conditioning that you got, from all the trauma and everything that you took on from others, that would be your core true self, who your soul made you to be in this lifetime. And I want you to kind of just like spend a few seconds to connect to that version for yourself. Maybe put your heart on your hands, put your hands on your heart, and just like feel into, okay, if I would be my core self, what would be the business I would create? Like what would she create? What rules would she have? Like I know my core self would, for example, never ever ever stop herself or think about, oh, am I talking too much? Like she would have this rule of, okay, you can talk as much as you want because you love it, you love talking, you actually enjoy, and helps people click, and you actually build trust with that. So I know my core self wouldn't put any limitation on the length of the content that I am creating. That's a rule actually I already have, because before that I was always, kind of doubting myself. Oh, should I create shorter podcast episodes? Should I create shorter articles? Should I create shorter newsletters? Short, because of the conditioning that I had of, oh, like short content, like people don't have attention spans today and people cannot, keep up and whatever. And that's why I had this conditioning of, oh, I have to be more, more effective with my communication, whatever that even means. And I know my core self wouldn't really care about that, not effectiveness, but like, being like deliberately shorter. Like if I don't have a lot to say, I don't say a lot, but that's not really a case most of the times. And that's just me, that's just how I am built. So that's one rule, for example, my core self would make in the business. What are the rules that your core self would make? Maybe it could be you don't need to do video, you can just write. Maybe it's you can deliver your program through a Telegram group, a Telegram audio voice notes. Like maybe that's the rule that your soul self would create. Like, how would your soul self do business? What feels natural, what feels good for you, that is how your soul self, your core self, would create business. So these were my questions for you today. This is the topic I wanted to really bring in to let you know that really you have the autonomy over your business. You make the rules, you create whatever you want to create, even with the how. Give yourself the permission to like build the business, build your dream business. You can do that, but you won't be able to do that if you don't trust yourself and if you choose to follow others without questioning anything. Again, learn from others, but take only what feels right, what feels good, and don't force yourself to do things that just like doesn't feel like you at all. Okay. If you want to dive deeper, you have two options. One is booking a free clarity call with me, where we can actually look into, okay, what could be the most aligned way for you to build business. We can look into your Dharma archetypes. We can look into your human design, also your gifts and everything, like how you can actually build the business that it would feel good to be in every single day. That's my gist. I love to do that. I love to figure it out for people. So uh, there's a free discovery call where you can start with that and get some pointers already, which is super fun. The other option is I have a free community, which is the Embodied Soulpreneur, where we actually tackle different topics that I see a lot of people struggle with, especially when building a business. We had a few weeks when we were focusing on imposter syndrome. Then we had, I'm planning to do a lot of other things with how you can enjoy business, how you can um, create better offers, how you can create better content, what type of content to create. Like, there's a lot of things in there that will be in there. So you can also join that, the link in the description below. And if you have questions, shoot it in the comments. And I see you in the next episode. Bye.